Hello everyone, Anthony de Tomorrow, aka Vacation Man here, and this is the Vacation Man Travel Show, episode number 3.
Hello, travel citizens. I'm Vacation Man.
Episode number 3 is here, and today's episode is dedicated to Fun and Adventurous. We have our always fun and knowledgeable Heidi Deco from Marketing for Travel Agents. She is here to give us another one of her other hints, tips, and tricks with regards to our travel agency owners and our travel agents who follow us and watch us. So pay attention to Heidi and her great her next tip in our series with Heidi Deco from marketingfortravelagents.com. Our episode is dedicated to Fun and Adventurous, and our featured destination is Cuba, and our featured guest is Eloy Govea from Cuba Tourist Board. He is the director and representative for the Cuban Tourist Board here in Canada, right in Toronto. He comes on and he's very informative. We love the fact that he not only educated us on not just the same destinations that normally you would travel when you go to Cuba, like your Veraderos and your Havanas and your Cayo Cocos, but to even explore Camagüey and Santiago de Cuba and other towns and cities in and around that really make the Cuban culture and you can embrace yourself in that Cuban culture when you visit those towns and cities. So we thank Eloy Govea. Here is our featured guest, Eloy Govea at the Cuban Tourist Board. Eloy, how are you today?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
We are fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. Today is all about Cuba. We are talking about Cuba, trying to get everyone to educate on what Cuba really is all about. If you've never been, phenomenal. If you have been, where to go after you've been, let's say to your basics, your Veraderos and Havanas, what are the really amazing spots that Cuba has to offer. So look, let's just go a little bit about who you are, where you're from. You represent the Cuba Tourist Board. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the director of the Cuba Tourism Board. We're based here in Bay and Bloor, in a very centric corner of the city, and we take care of all the business of promoting our beautiful country here in Canada, which is the #1 tourist market to Cuba by a considerable margin.
Great. No, and people who've been to Cuba, obviously the first thing they think about is the beach and the weather, but we want to educate people on it's not just about the beach, and the weather is fantastic, the beach is great, but the food, the culture, the history of Cuba. So let's go with that. If you can give us just a brief history on how, kind of Cuba has that reputation, how it has that niche, how it is Canada's #1 travel destination.
Yeah, you're right. As much as we have a wonderful weather all year round, with as average 25 Celsius degrees, as average we have 330 sunshine days a year, so you cannot go wrong going to Cuba. We have some of the most beautiful natural beaches in the world. Certainly, we have a whole new generation of new hotels that have been growing considerably in the last years and will continue so in the next 12-13 years. As much as those are beautiful attractions for Canadians to go to Cuba, especially those wanting to break with the cold weather months here in Canada, we have a very beautiful history, fascinating nature, vibrant culture, great food, and as a backdrop of that, something that I want to put center from, which is our safety. Cuba is a very safe country to travel to. Very recently in FITUR, the Spain trade show, Cuba was designated the safest country for tourism, which is a big deal, and especially since it is our aim to encourage Canadians to go outside the resorts and explore those beauties that Cuba had. Cuba, when it comes to culture, I like to say that most most likely there is no other country in the world that has created so many original rhythms like bolero, like cha-cha-cha, like mambo. And that's to say nothing about its remarkable contribution to foreign rhythms like Latin jazz. We just had the jazz festival in Havana, which was a tremendous success as always. And everybody who goes to Cuba tells you that the music, fills the air, and in every corner you can see music being played, and people dancing, and yeah, that's the other part of Cuba that, to my in my mind, and in mind of many of my friends and colleagues, and here in Canada, is the best part of Cuba. And ultimately, it's the people. It's about the people. People who go to Cuba tells you always, Cuba is about the people. It's about the experience there. We have incredible, warm, well-educated, and welcoming people. People who wants you to feel at home. And yeah.
Yeah, no, and I personally, Cuba. Every time I go to Cuba, there's always a Cuban song that kind of dictates the time, the stay. I know
Yeah.
there's always a song that associates yourself with the time that you just spent in Cuba, whether you're there to have a good time and party and enjoy yourself, or for the rest and relaxation, or for the dancing and the excursions. There's always a
Yeah.
song that I come out of when I leave Cuba that kind of dictates how my trip was. So I always put that as my soundtrack of my vacation. So so it's always nice that when you hit it on, when you said the music, that really hits it on the head, the nail on the head, which is really it's amazing. Speaking of excursions, so let's go with the major cities in Cuba to visit. Obviously, your Veraderos, your Havanas, Cayo Santa Maria, Cayo Coco. But let's go on excursions. Is there a specific or a few specific excursions that when you book your Cuba vacation, whichever destination, what is the, let's say, top 2, top 3, top 4 of the best excursions that people should be visiting? So.
Yeah. Cuba is, I would say, well appointed,
Yeah.
and to make easier the inland exploration.
Perfect.
In its widest swath of land, Cuba is only 120 kilometers wide. So wherever you are in Cuba, you will be no farther than 2 hours away of a beautiful, wonderful city, which are scattered across the island, beginning in Havana, which is our, capital city. Havana is the place where everything happens. Havana is the place of the big historical events, of the cultural events. The city, the magical city, where everywhere you go, everywhere you are at, there is a beautiful thing to do, to see. I like to, my favorite place there is for sure Old Havana, a World Heritage Site. Actually, a place that has been designated one of the new 7 wonder cities, because it's one of the only 7 that best reflect the global diversity of the urban society. So there's lots of museums, lots of plazas, squares, lots of people to interact with, a lot of restaurants, and it's a beautiful photogenic place around the beautiful bay of Havana, with its fortresses, which, by the way, it's not only the city of Havana that has been designated World Heritage Site, it's also its systems of fortifications, which had a very long and beautiful history too. Going farther east, there is Cienfuegos and there is Trinidad, that are both to the side. Cienfuegos is the Pearl of the South, also a World Heritage Site. The city is around the beautiful bay of Cienfuegos, and was created by the French, not by the Spaniards, which is a very fun fact, if you will. And there is Trinidad. Trinidad is the museum city in Cuba. according to one of the Metropolitan Museum of New York specialists, is the best preserved colonial architecture of this hemisphere. It's a city that has been frozen in time. Was the last where the conqueror Hernán Cortés stayed before going to Mexico, and it, along with the sugar mills valley, has been designated a World Heritage Site. Further east, there is Camagüey. Camagüey is the largest historical center of Cuba that has been designated World Heritage Site. It's a theme park, a huge theme park, one that you can, it wasn't created for cars. It was created to walk around it, and it's so easy. It's so easy to run into artists, churches, beautiful plazas. I like the fact in Camagüey that being so far from Havana has the second most important ballet company, classical ballet company in Cuba, and I would say the best that have created after the revolution. The ballet of Camagüey is a delight to see their functions and even their rehearsals, and they're so accessible, because that's something that is a very good thing in Cuba, that is accessible. You can go into the house of the artists themselves, Joel Jover, Ileana Martinez, Marta Jimenez, all of them, and I will not, and I am leaving for the last but not the least, Santiago de Cuba.
Nice.
To the far east. Santiago de Cuba is the second most important city of Cuba, but it's the city that is second to none when it comes to historical attractions, historical facts and heritage facts. It's a place that has in it three World Heritage Sites. It's the place of the history in Cuba. It's the place of the rum in Cuba. It's the place of the music, the traditional music in Cuba. It's the most Caribbean of the Cuban cities because it is well into the Caribbean, only 77 kilometers away from Haiti and Dominican Republic, and you can feel the Caribbean flair. It's in the air. So many French last names, so many English last names from the Jamaican heritage. So many, so colorful, so welcoming, so hospitable. And if you are in Holguín, you are only 2 hours away from Santiago. If you are in Santa Lucia, you are no more than 1 hour away from Camagüey. If you are in Cienfuegos and Trinidad, or in Cayo Santa Maria or Cayo Coco, you're very near Cienfuegos or Trinidad. And if you are in Varadero, you are only 2 hours away from Havana. So when it comes to inland exploration, whenever you are, it's easy to go for it. And well, we're an island. We are surrounded by ocean, by the Caribbean Sea, by the Atlantic Ocean, by the Gulf of Mexico, and we have one of the largest and certainly one of the best preserved coral reefs in the world. So if you are a scuba diver, if you are a nature lover, well, I would strongly recommend enrolling in a catamaran tour and going to do some snorkeling, some diving in our beautiful coral reef.
Beautiful, and that's a lot of my clientels are looking for something different, and don't always think of Cuba right away when it comes to coral diving. But this is something now, even myself a little bit, I've educated a bit more, so that's great. And I have those clientele, so I'm going to push. There is an island just south of Cuba that people hear about this. What's the name of the island again? I apologize.
Well, there are many islands actually.
Right.
South of Cuba. This is the Isle of Youth, which is a rather big island, which has at the east side of which there is a tourist destination very popular among Canadians, which is Cayo Largo. Cayo Largo, which, by the way, has in addition to the beautiful diving spots, the delphinarium, the beautiful hotels, etc., has two of the best beaches in the world.
Yeah.
Sirena and Paradiso. So beautiful, so white sandy beaches, and very curiously, the sand there doesn't get hot, which is really weird. But at the same time, it's amazing having a sand that doesn't burn your feet. It's so shallow, so safe, so beautiful. I mean, I love it. And farther east in the same south part of Cuba, there's a place called Jardines de la Reina. It's like Gardens of the Queen. But there's a product for diver lovers that is so amazing. The plankton there is so well preserved that you can see the whole food chain. You can even dive literally with sharks.
Wow.
It's amazing. Believe me, it's amazing.
See, these are like I was thinking if Cayo Largo was the island, and then kind of slipped my mind. But you got me on it, and now you even got educated me even more. So that's great. That's fantastic. So those are excursions. Havana, obviously, that's the one of the main ones. Visiting all the other towns in and around, obviously, Camagüey, going down to Santiago de Cuba. Those are obviously beautiful as well. Like you know, experienced them myself, so it is phenomenal. And then obviously you said the Cayo Santa Maria, Cayo Cocos, the Verederos. Those are your resort-ish, really lavish resort stops.
Yeah.
Cayo Coco being more of that R&R, the Veredero being more of the hustle bustle. So, thank you. That's great. With regards to that, also, what is new with? Give me some events, new things happening, or events and festivals that really, you know, Canadians are going down. They're looking at. They really want to. They should be immersed in the culture with these events. So,
all year round in Cuba, we have occurring hundreds of events. I will stick with the most, I would say, relevant, the most populars. For example, very soon, just in February, we have the Habanos Festival. So for the many cigar lovers that there are in Canada, it's a great opportunity. This year will be dedicated to the Cohiba brand, but as always, it has visits to the tobacco farm. Cuba is about the culture of the sugar and the cigar and the tobacco, and it will be in February, as well as the book fair beginning at the 1st of February. By the way, the book fair is an event that don't just happen in Havana. It's an event that had its headquarters there, but it expands to every municipality in Cuba. It's an amazing event of all the Cuban people, and all our visitors have access to it every single year. And it's amazing because Cuba prides itself in its education, and reading, the culture of reading is a big part of it. This year also, very important, I would recommend not missing the opportunity to attend the ballet festival. It happens every other year, and this year is happening. So it is at the end of October to the beginning of November. It's a great opportunity. Our national ballet is one of the most prestigious classical ballet companies in the world. 70 years of being founded by our prima ballerina Alicia Alonso. Is a great institution and great opportunity. Also, well, we have the jazz festival already in January, but keep tuned, because it is very likely that we have in December again the Jazz Plaza. So be tuned. Normally it is in December that we have the Jazz Plaza. And for film, for movie lovers, we have two very important international festivals. One having taken place in July, which is the Jibara International Festival. Jibara is a beautiful small Spanish town in Holguín province. So for those staying in the beautiful beaches of Guardalavaca, Playa Pesquero, in Holguín, It is only half an hour to get there and enjoy of that. And we have in December, it takes 2 weeks, the Latin American movie festival,
Beautiful.
which takes place in Havana. And, you know, every the whole city is transformed into a movie art and cinema art exhibition. So yeah, it's beautiful all year round. And I'm mentioning just 4 or 5 that are very popular, but all year round are happening things in Cuba.
And number one song in North America is Havana.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's number one song. Carmela Cabela, I think is her name.
Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello. Yeah. She's number one artist right now. That song is and you mentioned about the cigars, and I've got my little gift that I received. So
Romeo y Julieta.
Yeah, that's the ones, and I've got them here, and they're for a special occasion. My wife is pregnant with her second, so when the baby comes, you come to my office and we'll talk.
Terrific. I will for sure.
We will have.
I will bring some for sure.
No problem. That is fantastic. You know, you've educated. That's the whole point of the show, is to get people to really learn about not even Cuba, the culture, and then when you're down there, you learn the history as you go along. We have an Instagram account we've shared. I think our most commented image or picture or images was of Havana. When I shared my pictures of Havana, they were the most commented about the beauty, the splendor, the color, the feel, the look, the ambiance of Havana is just phenomenal.
The energy, yeah.
The energy, the livelihood, is you can see it just in a picture. You know what I mean? It's just that's how much you have to go. So our audience, our travel citizens, as we like to call them, are going to thank you very much for that. Eloy, thank you for being a part of our show. We are excited.
Thank you.
And anytime we need you, we will call you. You'll come on board and you'll talk more about Cuba, because we'll have probably another Cuba event.
Open arms.
Open arms. Thank you, my friend. Have yourself a great day. That was Eloy Govea from the Cuba Tourist Board. Thank you, Eloy.
Thank you.
Visiting Cuba is an experience that anyone with the opportunity should seize. Havana is one of the most historic and beautiful cities on earth, and Cuban people are known for their unbelievable friendliness and their fondness for people from other nations. It may be easy to think, because of the frostiness of relations between Cuba and the USA, that Cuba is a bit isolationist, but that could not be farther from the truth. While in Cuba, there's a long list of exciting things to do. Here's a list of top 10 resorts in Cuba in 2017. Memories Flamenco Beach Resort is listed on TripAdvisor as the second hotel of 11 in Cayo Coco. Reviews speak highly of the food, some even saying it is the best they have had in Cuba. The hotel was a recipient of a Certificate of Excellence in 2014 and comes in at around 4.5 out of 5 as an average guest rating. This all-inclusive resort is fun for all ages and well-suited for families. Number 9. Hotel Melia Marina Veradero. Hotel Melia Marina Veradero is ranked on TripAdvisor as number 5 of 58 hotels in Veradero, with an average guest rating of 4.5 out of 5. The pools are beautiful, the service is great, and the place is all-inclusive, everything you want in a Cuba vacation. Interestingly, this hotel also has a non-inclusive option for those looking to save money and spend time off the resort. Price ranges from $1,200 to $3,800 Canadian dollars. Number 8. Hotel Playa Cayo Santa Maria. TripAdvisor ranks Hotel Playa Cayo Santa Maria as the third hotel of 11 in Cayo Santa Maria. This one is run by Gaviota, a division of the Cuban government that is responsible for tourism. You'll often see their buses zipping around the resorts, taking people on excursions or to and from the airports. The average guest rating is very high, and it seems that this is a great bet for a fun vacation full of luxurious amenities. Number 7. Melia Las Americas. TripAdvisor ranks Melia Las Americas as the third hotel of 58 in Veradero, with an average guest rating of 4.5 out of 5. Melia Las Americas is a 5-star, all-inclusive, adult-only resort located on the white and sandy beaches of Veradero, Cuba. It is very close to the Plaza Las Americas shopping center for those interested in bringing home some high-quality Cuban rum and cigars. Number 6, Melia Buena Vista. Coming in at 4.5 out of 5 and ranked as number 2 out of 11 hotels in Cayo Santa Maria on TripAdvisor is Melia Buena Vista, a beautiful adults-only, all-inclusive resort complete with white sand beaches and personal butler service. Reviews speak often of return visits and extremely high-quality service. Number 5, Iberostar Varadero. Coming in at number 2 of 58 Veradero hotels on TripAdvisor is Iberostar Varadero, one of the recipients of the Traveler's Choice Award in 2014. With an average 4.5 out of 5 review, the resort is definitely a crowd pleaser. The resort is a high-class, all-inclusive design to fully relax and entertain its guests. The food is excellent, the beach is beautiful, and it is close to the town of Veradero for those who wish to hop off the resort for some authentic Cuban culture. Number 4, Royalton Hicacos Veradero Resort and Spa. The Royalton Hicacos Veradero Resort and Spa is ranked on TripAdvisor as the number 1 resort of 58 hotels in Veradero, an impressive feat. Similarly, it is ranked as number 4 of all resorts in the country. Like other resorts on this list, reviews absolutely gush about the quality of service and the physical beauty of the hotel itself. With beautiful white sand beaches and a strong focus on relaxation and restoration of its guests, Royalton Hicacos Varadero is a cut above the rest on the Veradero Peninsula. Number 3, Paradisus Rio de Oro Resort and Spa is ranked on TripAdvisor as the 3rd best hotel in Cuba and the best of 11 resorts in Holguin. It was the 2014 recipient of the Traveler's Choice Award. The reviews speak fondly of the service and beauty, and it seems that many people choose to return year after year just to experience this hotel again. This resort is owned and operated by Melia, a company that appears frequently on this list. Paradisus Rio de Oro Resort and Spa is a 5-star, all-inclusive, adults-only paradise. It is located on a beautiful beachfront overlooking a stunning coral reef. Number 2, Melia Cayo Coco. Ranked at number 2 of 294 Cuban hotels and number 1 of 11 hotels in Cayo Coco on TripAdvisor is Melia Cayo Coco, an all-inclusive paradise. Reviews mention the supremely friendly staff and unbelievable beauty of the resort. Melia Cayo Coco is an adults-only 18-plus luxury resort made up of an individual bungalows that stand on stilts over a saltwater lagoon. As if that didn't sound perfect enough, a week at this resort also gives you access to other Melia resorts in the area, in case you want to explore. Number 1, Royalton Cayo Santa Maria. Coming in at number 1 of 294 hotels in Cuba and number 1 of 11 hotels in Cayo Santa Maria, according to TripAdvisor reviews, is Royalton Cayo Santa Maria. So what is it that sets Royalton apart? Simply everything. Customer reviews average out to a maximum score of 5 out of 5 and often gush about the quality of the food, the quality of the service, and the beauty of the beach itself. Many customers say that Royalton Cayo Santa Maria is not just the best in Cuba, it's the best they have been to in the entire Caribbean. The resort has specially designed dream beds and offer not just unlimited buffet food, but unlimited visits to the a la carte restaurants, something that most other resorts limit to 1 per day per group.
We are here with the amazing Heidi Decaux. Heidi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Anthony?
We are fantastic. Heidi is the founder of marketingfortravelagents.com, and she has some amazing tips, hints, and tricks that we've been following over the past couple of sessions and interviews. But an amazing question that we got in from one of our travel agents, and then also she's also a travel agency owner, is what is one of the biggest mistakes you see travel agencies making when it comes to, I guess, dabbling into too much of marketing? Heidi, do you have anything that you can kind of lead people to really kind of tie them into everything and help them out?
Absolutely. One of the biggest mistakes that I see travel agents making in terms of their marketing is not having a marketing plan that they are following. Instead, they're just doing hit or miss marketing strategies, this whole hodgepodge of things where they're just throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, and there's no real plan. So they're doing 100 things and none of them are really working that well. They're just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. So I highly recommend putting together a marketing plan. And we actually have a free training that is online. It's held via webinar that walks you through step by step a proven, highly effective marketing plan for travel agents. And you can register for one of the upcoming ones by going to travelexpertmarketing.com. travelexpertmarketing.com. We've got them, a handful of them, so you can choose a day and time that works for you. And we'll walk you through step by step a proven marketing plan, and you'll even get a handout that outlines it so that you can start implementing it in your travel business. You actually have a plan to follow, a proven effective plan, and you're not just doing all of these random strategies, most of which aren't getting you the results that you're looking for.
And that is key, especially nowadays in travel agencies and marketing in this travel agency world. It's tough to really get your brand out, your label out, who you are, what you are. Clients have been asking, people have been pouring in with questions, and I got one specifically that I think you can really help us with. The quick question was, what is one of the ways travel agents can attract that ideal clientele and those bigger ticket bookings? Do you have any tips, hints that can help our travel agencies and travel agents specify and kind of narrow down those type of clientele?
Absolutely. So the number one thing is email marketing, which I know everybody's like, but you get 1,000 emails a day. And here's the thing though, you don't own your social media platforms. Facebook could go away tomorrow. Instagram could go away tomorrow. YouTube could go away tomorrow. You do own your email list. And it's a great way to build a know, like, and trust relationship with your prospective clients, in addition to social media and other things as well. So it needs to just be one part of an overall marketing plan, but it is a critical part that you are continually growing your email list. You're sending out high quality content that connects with those ideal prospective clients, builds that know, like, and trust relationship so that when they're ready to book, you are top of mind for them. And it's very easy for them to contact you because they're used to getting your emails. Now, there is a pitfall to this email marketing, and here's what it is. Content blindness. So you're right that people are getting 10,000 emails a day and they're starting to get content blindness is the term for it, where they're just almost blind to everything that's coming through. Now, there are ways that you can get over content blindness by having a really effective marketing strategy in place. You're not just randomly sending out emails. You're not just trying this and trying that. Like, you actually have a proven strategy in place. And I go over that strategy in a free online training that we've got, that we are hosting. We host it regularly. We're hosting again coming soon. You can register for it at emailmarketingfortravelagents.com. Again, that's emailmarketingfortravelagents.com. And it's a free online webinar. You can just register for a day and time that works for you. And I'm going to walk you through a highly effective email marketing strategy that's specific to travel agents like you that want to be attracting those ideal clients and the bigger ticket bookings. You don't want the tire kickers and the bargain shoppers and the I want to pick your brain and then book online. Not those people. A really effective email marketing strategy that's going to attract in those big ideal clients. And help you combat content blindness, which is real. If you're under the age of 30, you probably remember back in the days when you've got mail. People were actually excited to get email because it was new and fun. And those days are long gone and content blindness is upon us. But there is a strategy that you can follow that works like a charm.
That's great, and that actually helps us out because we have, like we said, we've launched toiinc.ca, and toiinc.ca offers you that that newsletter side of marketing as well. So we give you a newsletter platform, and we also have our company through that is connected to a company called successbyemail.com, and they are kind of our platforming, or it's almost a la MailChimp, where you load up all your emails, your email list that you have, and then you e-market that way properly. You market it properly, and the newsletter that you design, ours is specifically called the Travel Gems newsletter, where we kind of like Heidi touched on, kind of grab that niche market and kind of get those big ticket clientele, because we like to focus on destinations, travel gems, if you may, that people don't normally go and visit on a specific specific vacation request. So we try to channel in on that area to gain that type of clientele and market. So that's what we do at Up and Away Vacations, and our clients love it. The other thing, like you said, is kind of getting away from that content blindness, so that you can really reach out and your brand can really get into the specifics of people focusing on your email market instead of being blinded from something else. So that's a great little tip, hint, and trick. We will add the link to the seminars on our sites and all our outlets. So Heidi, thank you very much for that. Anything else more to add to that?
No, I'll just see you over at emailmarketingfortravelagents.com. I'll hopefully see you on the next live training that we host. And thank you for having me today, Anthony.
Thank you, Heidi. Have yourself a great day and stay warm. Bundle up.
Yes, will do. You too.
Bye now.
Can also be found at Podbean, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, you can watch our podcast on YouTube on our 2 YouTube channels, Up and Away Vacations channel and the Twa Inc. channel.
Hello, travel citizens. I'm Vacation Man.